10 strange and weird phobias you've probably never heard of. Number 10. Plutophobia. It is the fear of wealth, named for Pluto, the Roman god of wealth. People with this fear tend to feel unworthy and undeserving themselves when surrounded by successful individuals who make more money than they do. Plutophobia can make everyday interactions difficult, so often the person may isolate themselves, even from family and friends. It can lead someone into depression if left untreated. Number 9. Globophobia. It is the fear of balloons, usually associated with the noise balloons make when popped. It's a surprisingly common phobia. If you have this phobia, even just seeing someone pop a balloon or hearing about it happening in the news can cause panic attacks. It's not just balloons but also other round objects like balls and bubbles. Its effect varies on how severe an issue with balloons has been experienced in the past. Number 8. Linonophobia. A person with linonophobia will have an extreme reaction when even thinking of string, let alone seeing it in person. People who experience traumatic events and develop this phobia tend to avoid any association or connection between themselves and string, including knitting or tying a pair of tennis shoes. Number 7. Pogonophobia. People with pogonophobia are afraid of beards, and may even have anxiety when looking at an image, or talking to someone who has one. They usually won't make friends with someone sporting a beard, as they possibly connect it to an alarming incident from their past, where a bearded person caused them distress in some way. People suffering from pogonophobia may also develop this fear out of the inability to grow one. Number 6. Chaetophobia. It is the fear of hair. This might be a fear of one's own hair, the hair of others, or even animal hair. Chaetophobics may be terrified of brushing their own hair. This fear may have developed as a result of an upsetting hair experience, a poor haircut, or significant hair loss, such as becoming bald are two examples. Number 5. Vestophobia. People with vestophobia have an unrealistic fear of clothing. Another source may be the fear of tight clothing. The inability to move or feeling restricted in movement can trigger this. When wearing a tight-fitting pair of jeans or a too small coat, the highest expression of this phobia, can leave a person unable to wear clothing, leaving them little option but to remain at home naked in self-isolation. Number 4. Optophobia. People with optophobia have an incapacitating fear of opening their eyes. An individual who suffers from this phobia may find it hard to go about daily life without opening their eyes at least once. Optophobic individuals often suffer from generalized anxiety disorder. Have you ever watched a scary movie and had to cover your eyes for fear of having to watch what was on the screen? The thought of opening your eyes to watch can lead to heart palpitations and panic attacks. Number 3. Arithmophobia. While many people grow up dreading math class, those suffering from arithmophobia have a genuine fear that can seriously impair their life. People with this anxiety usually experience feelings of unease and distress when exposed to numbers. It can be a general fear of all numbers or a specific number, which tends to develop out of superstition or religious fears, like unlucky numbers in various cultures, especially the number 13 or 666 in the Western world. Number 2. Agmenophobia. It is the fear that the line you join will be slower than another one, leaving you waiting and waiting, and waiting. Faced with this decision, sometimes all a person can do is cross their fingers and hope they pick the right one. The thought of choosing the wrong line can bring on sweating, anxiety, and panic attacks. Like many other phobias, the exact cause of the phobia is not known, but maybe it could be related to the idea of having to waste time that a person might not have by standing in a line that simply won't move. Number 1. Scopophobia. It is an excessive fear of being stared at. While it is not unusual to feel anxious or uncomfortable in situations where you're likely to be the center of attention, like performing or speaking publicly, scopophobia is more severe. Like other phobias, the fear is out of proportion to the risk involved. In fact, the anxiety can become so intense that it can keep you from functioning in social situations, including school and work.